The real reason that Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter is not the reason that Joe Biden gave. Joe Biden said that he was doing it because he was worried that Donald Trump was going to politicize the criminal justice system. He worried that Donald Trump was going to use it to go after his political opponents like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And he probably said that and thinks that because Trump said he would, right? During the first campaign, the rallying cry against Hillary Clinton was lock her up. And during the more recent campaign, he referred to Joe and Hunter Biden as the Biden crime family and said that he would go after them. So it seems like a good defense for Joe Biden to say, I need to pardon my son because Trump, this new guy coming in, said that he would prosecute us, and he didn't say he was gonna look at the facts, he just said he was gonna go after us. It's a pretty good thing to say, but it is not the real reason that Joe pardoned Hunter. Look at what happened during the campaign. There was lots of harsh words from both sides. Both sides were saying the other guy is a singular threat to democracy, and if the other person gets elected, it is going to be the end of the country as we know it. Biden and the Democrats and Harris and the media were saying of Trump that he was like Hitler, and if he wins, he will do Hitler-esque things. He will go after groups of people and destroy them. That is quite a charge to make of somebody. And then you have to contrast that with the way Joe Biden acted around Trump when Trump came to the White House and after Trump beat Harris. Joe Biden was appropriately cordial to Trump. He congratulated him on winning. He and Harris said there will be a peaceful transfer of power. You can look at the videos of them talking with each other in the White House, in the Oval Office, and you'll see Joe Biden has a big smile on his face. As soon as Biden got out of the race, he was friendlier. He was doing a bit where he was wearing a Trump MAGA hat. And it seemed like he was able to take a step back and realize that the rhetoric of the campaign was just that. It was just rhetoric. Now, this is frustrating to a lot of people who consumed a lot of media and are used to the people on TV saying, this guy's terrible. If he gets elected, he's going to be like Hitler. Then when he wins, all of a sudden they're saying, well, we'll see. He won legitimately. Let's see if we can work with him. Mika and Joe go to visit him in Mar-a-Lago. This has really upset a lot of people who did not get the memo that during campaigns, you say a lot of things. You say whatever it takes to win. Saying harsh words and doing stuff are two different matters. You remember when a few years ago, Mitch McConnell said he was not gonna put in a new Supreme Court justice when Obama was the president because the election was coming up too soon and the people should decide which party they want picking the Supreme Court nominees. All the Democrats said, well, I guess that's a good point. There is an election coming up, and if people want Republicans to be in control, then maybe a Republican president should get to nominate the next Supreme Court justice. So then Trump won, and then on his way out, he said, okay, I want to nominate someone. And the Senate didn't use the same standards. Mitch McConnell did not say to Trump, hang on, I told Obama we had to wait until there's a new election. Mitch McConnell said, great, let's start nominating people. In other words, it became clear at this point that the Republicans were playing hardball. They played the Democrats when they said, we should wait to pick a justice. Really, that was something they just said when Obama was president. Then when Trump was president, they completely reversed course, and all the Democrats realized, oh, I see what's happening. The Republicans are playing hardball, and we need to do the same. There's laws surrounding the picking of Supreme Court justices, and also there are laws surrounding pardons. And if you have an issue with Joe Biden pardoning his son Hunter, maybe the issue you have isn't really with Joe Biden, but it's with the concept of the pardon. When you take a step back and think about it, it's pretty wild. We have a whole branch of the government that's dedicated to justice. This is the court, the justice system. And let's look at a state criminal case where there's a bad guy. There's a murderer. He goes before a court. He stands before a jury of his peers. There's 12 people who are picked because they are willing to have an open mind and hear the facts. Sometimes we'll spend weeks or months going over the facts of the case, describing how, let's say, a serial killer killed a bunch of people, and there's all sorts of proof and evidence brought in. The jury gets to see the evidence, review it. Both sides are asked lots of questions. Some of these trials can go on for hundreds of hours. It is a very thorough process run by professionals, with regular Americans being the judge of the outcome. And then, if something goes wrong there are appellate courts where we can fix stuff from the jury, but this is all from legal professionals who understand the matters and are not allowed to make reversals based on the facts of the case. The appellate courts only say if something went wrong in the lower level courts. In other words, it's very precise. Of course, we have miscarriages of justice. The court gets it wrong, but we're a lot better than the other places in terms of accuracy of verdict. We put so much work and thought into this, and here's where things get crazy. Even if you have all the trials, even if you have all the people reviewing the facts and making the best decision, you can have the governor make a call and be like, no, let's just reverse it. Click. And then whatever the jury decided, one guy is able to reverse that in one phone call. This is where you have these movies or these real life situations where someone's on death row, they're about to be executed, and then we see that phone and we're waiting for a phone call from the governor, and we're about to pull the switch, and then the phone rings and says, don't execute the guy, so you put the switch back up. That is a real thing. That's not just a movie thing. That's a real part of the American law. Governors have the power to make these pardons in their states, and the president has the power to pardon people federally. Every president does it. Usually they do it right when they're going out of office because it looks kind of bad. You're saying, hey, all of these criminals, I'm just going to let them go because we were friends back in college. Or I like the way that this guy supported me. He donated to my campaign. Even though the court said that he was guilty of this, I'm just going to reverse it because I'm the president. That's a thing that presidents can do. And so there's no limits on this. Presidents can pardon close friends and family members. Joe Biden can pardon his son, Hunter. And if you have an issue with that, maybe your issue isn't with Joe, but it's with the concept of the pardon. So what happened was, it was Thanksgiving, and Joe Biden is thinking about these two things. He's thinking about the power of the pardon, that he has the right to do this. He can make big pardons. He didn't just pardon Hunter for the charges against him. He pardoned Hunter for 11 years, including times where no one even said Hunter was doing bad stuff during some of this time. Biden realized that he, as president, could do this, even though he said many times that he would not pardon Hunter, even though he promised he wouldn't pardon Hunter, even though his press secretary said time and time and time again that he was not going to pardon Hunter. Biden realized he could just pardon Hunter. There's no law that prevents a president from lying about something. Also, I think the message finally hit Biden that Trump was playing hardball and he needed to do the same. He saw Trump on the campaign trail railing against him, saying that Joe Biden is the worst person ever, he's destroying the country, he's terrible. And then Trump comes to the White House, and Trump, it seems, was cordial, was friendly, same as Joe Biden was. I think this is what finally made it click in Joe Biden. I see. This Trump guy is just playing hardball. He said what he needed to say to get elected, and it worked. And he's doing what needs to be done to keep power in a good situation for Trump. If Trump had lost the election, he would be in courts right now, probably, and could be headed for jail. But he did whatever it took to keep himself and his family out of jail. And now Joe Biden is doing the same. He has learned from Trump to play hardball. He has seen the pardon is something within his power, and he acted on it. At least that's my assessment. I'm curious about your assessment, because now you've watched this whole video of me. You've been listening to me talk for 5 or 10 minutes, which is weird because usually people get bored of me talking, but you're still here. And now I'm curious to know something about you. I'm curious to know, first of all, if you agree with the stuff I said in this video, or if you're watching it because you think I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. I actually sometimes prefer dissenting opinions, which is tricky, of course, because I'm always right about everything. But I still enjoy when people dissent. Or I'd be curious to know, like, something else about you. Clearly, if you're still watching this, you have some interest in politics. But what else are you interested in? And I'm asking this for a reason. These videos, it's a new style for me. I'm still developing. I don't know what to talk about, really. And I'm just trying to entertain you with these words. So I'm curious to know, do you want to hear more analysis about politics or psychology or business? My area of expertise is deception, because I have been a magician since I was 5 years old, and I love seeing deception in all walks of life and trying to understand what's happening, and I'm happy to share it with you in the upcoming videos. So leave a comment, I will read it, and also please follow this page if you have not already, because I have got some very interesting things planned. All right, bye everyone.